Camera rolling.
All right. So, where to begin? About a house party and some zombies come and crash it. And it was a 96-page script that I co-wrote with Eric Perrone, who was my roommate at the time. And we really put a lot of time and energy and effort into this. And that's when we started recruiting, the people who would be going into The Dead Don't Dance.
I don't remember exactly how it came to me, whether it was expressed through a text message or a face-to-face conversation, but it's something that I talked to Ricky about for quite a long time. I knew he was working on this film. I'd worked with him before, and just had a feeling he would ask me to do the lead.
And so, when I wrote Dead Man's Party, I knew that I wanted Billy to play the lead as Dexter. I wrote that with him in mind. I had already built up a relationship with Christopher Henry, so I knew that I wanted him to play Tommy. And trying to cast the role of Emmy was really hard because I had no female friends that I really knew that were wanting to be actors.
So I remember telling Ricky that when I was younger, I wanted to be an actress and how I wanted to take classes. And I think I did take a class, or was taking a class at that time, or I had just recently taken a class. So we would talk about that. And I remember telling him that I wanted, oh yeah, if you ever need me for anything, I can be a zombie or do whatever, just, be fun. So yeah, we did have those conversations.
We're doing this movie. I want you to be the lead actress in the film. And she agreed. I knew she was very nervous about it, but, I don't know why she was. She did a great job.
I was nervous because I wanted to be a zombie. I didn't think he'd care too much, or Ricky would care too much for me being the lead role. Since I didn't really have much experience, I was just we had talked about it, and I was like, yeah, it'd be interesting, I'm your girl, call me. But yeah, so I was really nervous, but excited, and it was just something new that I'd never done before, so it was interesting, yeah.
So she was definitely the even tone of the film. You had Billy's really comedic antics versus Chris's very aggressive, performance. And then you had Erica just really keeping those two, I felt she was really good with that.
I'm talking if you brought on my house! I don't know them! You don't know what?
I swear to God, I'll do it. Stop it.
When we decided that we were going to start making The Dead Don't Dance, the first thing I needed to do was, am I going to be able to pull this off? And part of that meant was the actual zombies of this production. And when we decided how were our zombies going to be, we knew we did not want to go with the Walking Dead route and have them be slow, have them be gross and infected and diseased looking, that we wanted them to be more they just crawled right out of the grave.
And so there's supposed to be an element of schlock or camp to this. So I wasn't expecting to see zombies of, say, Day of the Dead caliber, zombies that were meant to look very frightening and zombies that were meant to look, very graphic in the makeup. I guess I was expecting it to be kind of half-assed, to be honest with you.
Jameson really was the guy who just made this possible by sculpting these awesome prosthetic pieces that we were able to use, and we just duplicated them like crazy and painted them all different colors so we can glue them onto several people and make several different characters out of them, and then reuse them and just mix and match.
I was very impressed. I was not expecting them to look so realistic and just awesome. He did a great job. It really did exceed my expectations. When we first saw him, I was like, oh my God, that is so cool. So yeah, I think he did an amazing job. They look great.
he made this really amazing prosthetic stomach that he glued on to one of the actors, and he filled it up with latex pantyhose and strips of like pieces of rubber and what else we could find. We just stuffed it in this little stomach cavity and taped it onto this actor and called action, and all these zombies just ripped it open and were pulling out guts, which was one of those scenes that always sticks out to me. Like, wow, we made that happen. That was pretty cool. Right there in my kitchen. So when it came to the actual production of The Dead Don't Dance, we had the script that I wrote, and we did one shot, one day of shooting, and as I reviewed the footage the next day, I realized that something wasn't landing. It was not coming off the way I envisioned it.
It wasn't. Ricky had a script made for the film, and it wasn't a bad script. Something happened in shooting one of the scenes. It just wasn't working for him. So we talked about it, and again, we've worked together many times over the years. And some of the things that we've done, I improvised some of my lines. And I suggested that maybe we improvise the whole movie and encourage the other actors and actresses to do so. I think Ricky was a little bit reluctant to do that.
It was a test to me to release the control onto Billy and just let him like be free and wild with, whatever is going to be said on this film.
All right, Tommy. Your girlfriend is really pretty, and you shouldn't throw her to the floor so much.
So I felt like it had to be improvisational. We had to feel like we were chatting with each other, especially if we were going to be filming it over several days, which ended up turning into weeks and months, So we had to keep some sort of spontaneity alive, and something about this project just, to me, demanded that it be improvised.
I don't remember, to be honest, when we had to improvise, but I think, because I do remember a certain part.
That's great. Whoa. Oh, God. Hey, whoa.
Sorry.
It's not. It's just this is my boss's car, and
I get it.
there are rules.
I don't know if it was the improvisation that made it feel a little more relaxed and a little bit more fun, a little bit more. I felt like I let go a little bit. So I remember in the beginning, like I said, just being really nervous because I'd never done this before. And it was kind of like, okay, we're going by the script, and then just trying to, I don't know, in a way, like learn. Billy was great. He was very helpful. Everyone was great. So yeah, I don't know if I can say it was improvising that helped just kind of make it relax, but it could have definitely been.
So we used the script more as a blueprint of how we were going to get from point A to point B. And there's a lot of error at first, but I felt like it helped smooth out the kinks of the production, and it made it, I think if we tried going off the script, the movie probably never would have finished. I think this was like, all right, we got what we needed. Lines did not match. It didn't matter because not every take had the same lines. And so as long as I felt like there's enough coherentness in each shot we did, we can fix that in post. And that became another issue.